Good evening, everybody. Tashidele. So before we start today Lamrim class, everybody sets proper motivation. Make sure you should not have any mistaken motivation, wrong motivation, which is you're only thinking about this life. You're only thinking about happiness in this life. Also, you should not think I'm going to attend the Lamrim class. I'm going to practice Lamrim only in order to have a happy life in next lifetime. Also, you should not think I'm going to listen, study, practice of Lamrim in order to achieve liberation, nirvana for myself. Please eliminate all the mistaken, wrong motivation. You should think, so today I am going to study Lamrim. I'm going to practice Lamrim to become Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. In order to become Buddha, we must know how to become Buddha. Therefore, we need to study Lamrim. We need to study Dharma. So we gather here. We are not having definitely no party. We gather here because we are not talking any politics things. We gather here mainly study, practice of Lamrim, Dharma, in order to become Buddha, to benefit all sentient beings. So everybody should have a short moment to set up the right and proper motivation. Okay, so even though animals, insect, even though the being who have a feeling, they always want to be happy, don't want to be suffered, always want to achieve happiness, always want to avoid suffering. But as animal beings, hungry ghosts, hell beings, they don't know anything about how to achieve happiness. They don't have any opportunity to listen the proper guiding. They don't have opportunity to practice the proper teaching. Therefore, we human beings are very fortunate have a opportunity to listen, to study, to practice of Dharma. Within the 7 billion human beings, there are very few number of people have the opportunity to listen, to study, to practice of the Dharma. Therefore, everybody feel we are very fortunate to have this kind of opportunity due to our previous karma, due to our karma of this lifetime. So therefore, each time when you practice Dharma, when you engage in practice of Dharma, first you visualize, you remember your root guru or your lineage gurus. At least you remember the Buddha, then visualize the Buddha. Then you must think, today I am going to practice Dharma. Therefore, I must practice on impermanence. So before that, you must realize you have very important life, which is leisure and opportunities. That means you have, the life which has a 18, qualities, 18 characteristics, 10 opportunities, 8 leisures. So you are free from, the non kind of virtuous thing. Particularly, you remember impermanence. Then, first you should think, I need to practice the teaching. I have the ability to practice of Dharma. Not only that, I need to practice the Dharma in this lifetime. Not only that, I need to practice the Dharma right now. That means I need to practice the teaching. I have the ability to practice of the teaching. I need to practice the Dharma this lifetime. Not only this lifetime, right now. So among these mental attitudes, the third, when you think I need to practice in this lifetime, you stop the laziness of giving up, which thinks I will practice the teaching in the future lifetime. So therefore, there's definitely no guarantee you have human life in again. Therefore, you must practice Dharma right now. So why we need to practice Dharma? Because all living beings only want happiness, do not want suffering. You are a living being, you are a human being, you always want happiness, you don't want any suffering. Therefore, the happiness which you wish to achieve, you can only achieve through practice of Dharma. The suffering which you do not want, it also you can eliminate only practice of Dharma. Then yes, you want to practice Dharma. Do you have ability to practice of Dharma or not? Then yes, I have the ability, I have the opportunity, because I have two conditions, external condition, inner condition. The external condition, you have the right guru or right master. Not only that, the guru, the teacher is there, all the teachings are available, and you are fully have all the 18 qualities of opportunities and leisure. That means you have all the external conditions are there. That's why you are able to practice. Not only that, you have the inner opportunities, which is you believe in Dharma. Also, you have the capacity to understand, capacity to practice. Therefore, you can practice the Dharma. So when I should practice Dharma? You should not think, I can practice Dharma in my next lifetime. If you think very precisely about your day-to-day life actions, your daily actions, the most time we engage in, non-virtuous actions. Even though you have been engaging many, noble actions, virtuous actions, but the noble action is not complete. Because at the beginning, you don't have the right and good motivation. Your motivation only thinking about this life, next life, maybe only thinking about liberation. That's why at the beginning, we don't have the good motivation. Therefore, all the practices which we have been doing is not complete. Sometimes we have the great motivation, only thinking practice of Dharma to become a Buddha, to benefit all sentient beings. Yes, you have a right, good motivation. When you engage in the practice of Dharma, when you engage in the noble actions, virtuous action, and that time also the action is not complete. Yes, you have a right motivation, you have a right actions, but in the end, you don't have the dedication. Therefore, the most of the action, the virtuous action, which we have done in the past life, this life, all of them are not incomplete. Therefore, there's not much hope to have another human life. Therefore, you should not think, I can practice the Dharma in my next lifetime. We never know next lifetime where we will be born. We will be in the hungry ghost realms, we will be in the hell realms, or animal realms, or celestial being realms. Even the human realms, there is no teaching, you cannot practice Dharma. Then you must think, I want to practice Dharma in this lifetime. Then you should not think again, yes, I want to practice Dharma this lifetime, but this day I am very busy. This year I am very busy. I will practice next year. We never know the next year and next life which is come first. Right? We never know tomorrow and next life which is come first. We think, I can go tomorrow something, I want to do something tomorrow. We never know. Among us, maybe someone can die tonight, this evening. We never know. Because all the food we eat, the healthy food we eat, we think it is very healthy, it's good for us. Sometimes the healthy food become poison. And in Singapore, we are very much dependent on the transportation, like MRT, bus, taxi. It can be an accident. We never know. So that's why you should not think, I want to practice Dharma next year, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. You should think, I want to practice Dharma right now. So then many people think, how I can practice Dharma right now? Right now I am very busy, right? Yes, even though you are busy, within the busy time, during the busy time, you can be busy, you can do whatever you want, at the same time you can practice Dharma. For example, you are very busy to cooking food for someone. You should think, I am cooking this food to benefit those people with a great compassion. When you're doing something for someone, also think, I am servant to serve for others. And whatever you do with the honesty. Be honest. Be compassionate. With a good heart. That means all your actions, action of Dharma. Practice Dharma not necessary to, build a temple, giving hundreds of billions of dollars to others. Not. Also practice of Dharma not necessarily to do prostration, to making offering. Just changing your mentality in the positive side. If you don't change your mind in the positive state, even though you have been doing so many good things, the action look like good, but in the reality, the actions are not the positive action, it's a negative action. Therefore, within the busy time, while you are eating, sleeping, talking with someone, drinking tea and coffee, you can do Dharma practice at the same time. So you should not think, I'm busy, I cannot practice Dharma. You should not think, I cannot practice Dharma because I'm doing business. Yes, you can do good business. The business benefit for others. You should not think I'm very busy because I'm cooking in the restaurant, I'm serving in the company, I'm doing something for my families. Also, if you have done all of them with the right motivation, then you can achieve whatever you want this lifetime. At the same time, you're able to practice Dharma. So, you should think, I want to practice Dharma right now. Right now. You should not postpone the time. So then, so when you realize I have a very, important life, which is, opportunity and a leisure life. So it is so difficult to attend, so difficult to achieve, so difficult to have. Once you have, it's never lasting forever. It's so easy to lost, so easy to dry. Therefore, you must remember the impermanence. Then, how we can achieve lasting happiness, how I can be happy forever, right? Therefore, so now everybody turn page number 129. So here, the few pages are very important, so we must try to understand the meaning for the 3 or 4 pages. So how, I can achieve happiness? Can I achieve ultimate happiness through my, doing very little thing? You cannot. You can achieve the ultimate happiness through practice of Dharma. You can avoid, you can stop to born in the lower realms to practice of Dharma. You can achieve, the liberation, the arhatship through the practice of Dharma. The Dharma is the only one method to stop to born in the lower realms. Dharma is the only method to achieve liberation only for your welfare. The Dharma is the only one which is able to achieve Buddhahood. Therefore, we must practice the Dharma. Then how I can practice Dharma? This is the question that I told you. You should not think I cannot. Now look at page number 129. How to take full advantage of the life of leisure and opportunity. That means I assume everybody fully recognize the leisure and opportunity life. Very important life. Why it is considered so important? So important. Now just compare human being and other beings. The human being is very little of number, very little. Within the human being, how many people able to recognize the right path to achieve liberation to Buddhahood? Very few people. So you are among the very rare, very few people. This is very, very important. Number one. Number two, why so important? Because if you want to achieve ultimate happiness, you can achieve this lifetime. If you cannot, if you miss this opportunity, then there will be no more opportunity. So that's why it is so important. So important. So for example, you want to be, the president of Singapore. You want to be. Somebody say, you must wait until 10 o'clock. The 10 o'clock, I'll give you the president position. Right? You must be wait until 10 o'clock with the patient. If you left 9:59, then you miss the chance. If you come, 10 o'clock, 2 or 3 minutes, you miss. So that's why it is so important. Your next life, you go into lower realms, go in a higher realm, is in your hands. Or you want to achieve liberation, Buddhahood or not, also in your hands. You can control everything in this lifetime. This was so important. Then question, right? How to take full advantage of life of leisure and opportunity is presented in the two parts. Number one, how to develop certain knowledge of general presentation of the path. So first we need general knowledge about how to practice the Dharma. General knowledge about general practice of Dharma. Then particularly the actual way to take full advantage of the life of the leisure and opportunity. Right? That means we must learn, the sudden knowledge of general presentation of the path. And actual means the Lamrim, to take full advantage of the life of leisure and opportunity. Then number one, how to develop certain knowledge of the general presentation of path. So related to the path, you must remember, for example, the bodhicitta is, we name path. For example, when you need to go to somewhere, you have to go through the path. That means bodhicitta is the path to achieve Buddhahood. Also bodhicitta we call ground, the ground or land. Because if you have a ground or land, you can grow something. When you have a bodhicitta, you can grow, you can generate the Buddhahood. That means path, bhumi is synonymous. Salam, yeah. So that's why sometimes we call path, sometimes we said the ground. So the way to develop certain knowledge of general presentation of the path is has two parts. So general knowledge of how to practice the path. It has two parts. Very important. Number one, how all the scriptures, the Buddha teachings, the teaching on the commentary on the Buddha teachings, how all the scriptures are included within the path of the three types of person. That means whatever Buddha taught, in India, whatever he taught, whatever he teach mainly for, three things, three paths. Path for small being capacity, path for the medium being capacity, and great being capacity. That means all human beings we can divide into 3 categories. The categories number 1, only thinking about this life, only thinking about next life. They don't think about liberation, Buddhahood, right? That's why within the human, all human, one group just only thinking about this life. And maybe someone think next life, still the only thinking happiness of the short time. Then there's another group. The another group is not guys, I'm not only thinking about this life, not only thinking about next life, they are thinking the further more, which is liberation. Right? Yes, it's very good to be human. I want to be human. I want to be, like celestial being. But still, I have all the sufferings. I have all the problem, all the miseries. That's why I don't want to reborn again and again, human life. I want to be free, totally free from suffering, samsara. This is what we call, medium capacity being. The first one, small capacity, only thinking about, small goal, which is happiness of this life, happiness for next life. The second one, they're not only thinking this life, next life, thinking about liberation, completely free from suffering, free from, samsara. This is called middle, capacity. That the last one we call great capacity. There's another group. They're not only thinking about this life, next life, as well as they're thinking about, free from samsara, free from suffering. Not only that, they're thinking, not only I want to be free from suffering, I'm not only I want to be, free from samsara. I wish all sentient being free from samsara, all sentient being free from, suffering. This is called the great capacity. That means different people has a different ability to do, practice. That means all human being we can category into 3, right? Small, medium, great. Then all the teaching, taught by Buddha, taught by, Indian masters, Chinese master, Thai master, whatever, whoever taught about Dharma, only explain about 3 practices. Therefore, look at how all the scriptures are included within the path of the 3 types of the person. 3 types of the person, small person, medium person, and a great person. That means there are 3 paths. Small being path, small capacity path, medium capacity path, then great capacity path. That means 3 paths. Then number 2, why students are led in the stage using the training of the 3 types of person. Then they thought, actually there's 3 paths, right? Small being paths, middle being paths, and great being paths. Why they need to explain the first and second? Why not student directly, bring to the last path, which is the great path? Why students are led in the stage using the 3, training of the 3 types of person? Why 3 person? Why not the, the great paths? Then number 1, look at how all the scriptures are included within the path of the 3 types of person. Clear? That means all the Buddha teach about 3 paths, explain about 3 paths, which is small being path, middle being path, and great being path. 3 paths, right? Then all the practices include into 3 practices. One, the practices only achieve happiness this life and next life. Other practices must practice to achieve liberation. There are another practice about achieving Buddhahood. Right? 3 beings, 3 paths, 3 achievements. Now look at it. This is little bit some mistake in translation. In the beginning, a person who is to become a Buddha develops spiritual enlightenment. The beginning, develop spirit of enlightenment. In the middle, the person accumulates the collection of merits and sublime wisdom. And in the end, the person actualizes perfect Buddhahood. So this is at the beginning. Look, in the beginning, a person. Let's say at the Buddha Shakyamuni. Okay, Buddha Shakyamuni. In the beginning, generate or develop, Buddhicitta. In the middle, Buddha Shakyamuni accumulate collection of merit and sublime wisdom. In the end, right, Buddha Shakyamuni actualize the perfect Buddhahood. Right? So first Buddha Shakyamuni, he wasn't Buddha at the beginning. He was just ordinary being. Then first what he did, he generated Buddhicitta. Then in the middle, what did he do? He did accumulate merit for 3 eons. That means merit and sublime wisdom, and 2 types of merit. Then so he generated Buddhicitta. He accumulated, merits. Then what happened in the end? He became Buddha, right? Therefore, we ourselves consider Buddhist. So at the beginning, we must develop Buddhicitta. In the middle, after you generate Buddhicitta, you must accumulate merit, 2 types of merits for 3 eons. Then do 3 practices, right? Generating Buddhicitta, accumulating merits. In the end, what will happen? You will become Buddha. So related to the accumulation for 3 eons, many people think, accumulating merit for 3 eons is too long, right? Even though I said you must accumulate merit for 1,000 years, you feel, discouraged. I cannot, right? In order to accumulate 3 eon merits, you don't have to live in the samsara 3 eons. You can accumulate the 3 eons merit within 1 lifetime, maybe within 10 years, right? For example, Buddha Shakyamuni, he became, bhikshu. He became full ordained monk when he was how old? 49. Then what age Buddha become bhikshu? 29. Right? Then so before 29, age of 29, I think plus 40, I'm not sure. So he spent, let's say Buddha accumulate 3 merits for within 6 years, right? Then in Tibet, so Milarepa, one of the, example. So he accumulate 3 eons merit for very short lifetime. So you should not think, I have to stay in the samsara for 3 eons. That means, so at the beginning, generate Buddhicitta. In the middle, accumulate 3 types of merits for 3 eons. In the end, actualize the perfect Buddhahood. Then all this action, that means the Buddha actions, right, are solely for the welfare of living beings. So whatever Buddha teach for, benefit others. Whatever Buddha has done actions, all the action only for, welfare of other beings. Therefore, all the teaching given by Buddha simply accomplish the welfare of living being. The welfare of living being is what you should accomplish, as well as this welfare is twofold. Right? Less, welfare of human beings, the welfare of living beings. The welfare, the benefit, you can think only two benefit: temporal and, ultimate, final, twofold. The provisional goal of the higher status, human or deity. The final goal of the sudden goodness of liberation or omniscience. Right? That means, so actually we have only two welfare, two achievement. One is the short time, which is, human life. Again in next life, or maybe, celestial being in next life. The second goal, what is the second goal, final goal? Sudden goodness of liberation or omniscience, right? That means when you think about your welfare, your achievement, you can think I can have only two achievements. Because look at, we are already in human life. Most of us, sometimes we think I don't have enough so many things, but actually we are already human. You have, I think, more than enough things. You have a house, you have enough food, you have enough clothes to wear. Actually, our life is quite complete this lifetime. We no need to worry too much about this lifetime, only for this life. Now we should think about what I want, what will happen after I death. Right? Death. Then, yes, after I death, I wish to born again in human, or, like a deity. Right? This is the temporal. The final, I want to be, arhat. I want to achieve liberation, or I want to achieve omniscience. That means you have only two goals, temporary and, ultimate. Two goals. Final goals of the sudden goodness of liberation, omniscience. Between these two, many of the Buddha's statements, pertain to the attainment of the temporal goal of higher status. That means there's only two goals, final and temporal goals. All of the statements are included in the teaching of the person of genuine small capacity, or the teaching shared with such a person. Right? Now starting about, we said, all the Buddha teachings include, practice of teaching about the small capacity person, middle, or great. Now you should think this way, huh? The best example, right now we are, let's say, we are, the Lavender MRT. So the Lavender MRT is kind of, our human life, Lavender MRT. Then next, where we have to go? If you go to airport site, first we go to Khalang. Second, Aljunet. Third, Paya Leba, right? Paya Leba. Let's say Paya Leba is one of the, beautiful place, the last destination. So among the people, some just wish to go to only Khalang. Someone, no, Khalang is not that nice. I want to go to Aljuna. Right? That means someone wants to go to Khalang as well as want to go to Aljuna. There's another group, so no. We must go to Khalang, not only stop there, go to Aljunet. Not only that, we must go all the way to Paya Leba. Right? That means everybody going through until Khalang. But someone stop there, right? Someone stop there. But someone go further until, Aljuniet. Someone stop there. Someone go all the way to Paya. But everybody share the MRT until where? Until Khalang. Share, right? That means share. That means the person who go to Aljuniet, they also need to go to Khalang. The person who need to go to Paya, they have to go to, 3 station. That means first, second station is shared with the, 3 other group. Same thing. That means when Buddha keep teaching about, small scope being, only for small scope being, or maybe shared with the great scope and middle scope. That means all of the statements are included in the teaching for a person of genuine small capacity, or the teaching share together, shared with such a person. Because person of the special small capacity do not work very much on behalf of this lifetime, but they diligently strive for excellent higher status of the human or divine rebirth in future lifetime by engaging in the cultivation of the cause. Right? That means within the small capacity beings, you can divide into 2 groups. Okay, within the small capacity being, someone only think this life. They don't think about next life. Only this life. Right? That's why within the Singapore, many people think only about how I can be happy only this life. They never consider about next life. This also consider small capacity being. There's another small, capacity being not only thinking about this life, thinking about next life. They never thought about liberation. Those also include into small capacity. Right? Capacity. Now look at the Atisha, the lamp for the path to enlightenment, Changju Lamdun. So the lamp of the path to enlightenment, written by Atisha when he was in Tibet. Atisha was, born in the West Bengal, now part of Bangladesh. He was the prince. Then he, due to previous karma, life karma, due to the dakinis, they aspire him to be, Sangha, to be renounced. After he became renounced, then he was studying, very extensively. So he was very famous. Then even though, after he became very famous, do you remember the story? So he was the, abbot of the, Mahabodhi temple, like Bodh Gaya. That time in Bodh Gaya, there were a lot of mini monasteries. So he was the top of the monastery, abbot. So one day he was walking around the Buddha Gaya, the stupa. He was thinking, so which path is the faster path to become a Buddha? Then he heard, there were 2 dakinis or 2 ladies was talking about, bodhicitta is the best and the faster, the quicker path to achieve Buddhahood. They thought, I must practice bodhicitta. Then again he was, keep thinking, that he got many vision from Buddha, Bodhisattvas, dakini. Then he thought, now bodhicitta is the best, quicker and safe, sweet path to achieve Buddhahood. Then he thought, how I can receive, the perfect instruction. Then he noticed that, the master Selingba, actually it's Selendaba, Tibetan called Selingba, was the, the best teacher and best to be his teacher. Therefore he left from India went to, Indonesia, now you can call Sumatra. Then he spent there, I think, 9 years with Lama Selingpa. He received all the instruction, all the teachings, particularly teaching about bodhicitta. There's a two way to generate bodhicitta. One is 7 cause and effect. Second is exchanging 7 others. So both instruction Atisha received from, Master Selingpa. Then he returned to India. Then, so he received, kind of request, one of the Tibetan king, he requested him to come to Tibet. So when he reached to Tibet, that time, the king was already passed away in the prison. His nephew, Changju, he never said, Atisha, please give initiation. He never said, give, certain other teaching. He said, please give a teaching which is benefit for all Tibetan. He never said particular this teaching, that teaching. Then Atisha, keep teaching about, the 3 beings path based on, the lamb of the path, Changju Lamdun. So before he went to Tibet, there was an agreement with the Bodh Gaya's, I think, monks and the Tibetan, people. There's an agreement. They said, Atisha, you must bring back Atisha to India after 10 years. After 10 years, I think 10 years, you must him bring back to India. They had agreement. So after 10 years, they sent the Lamb of the Path, written by Atisha. They sent the teaching to India. When they saw the teaching, everybody was very amazed. Then he said, now it's okay, Atisha must stay in Tibet. So before he went to Tibet, so he asked, the Aryatara, should I go to Tibet or should not go to Tibet? Right? Then Aryatara said, Mother Tara said, if you go to Tibet, you can get lot of benefit in the Buddha teaching, lot of benefit for the Tibetan, but your life become shorter. How many years? 8 years shorter. Then he said, I can sacrifice my life. So he went to Tibet. Then he was almost 60 years old. So this is very important. All the Lamrim from Gelugpa tradition, Nyingma tradition, Sayat, whatever Lamrim, all Lamrim is based on the path of the lamb of the path to enlightenment. It has only, I think, 10 pages. You can memorize. Can you? Yes? Yes, right? Look at. Should not be lazy, huh? Lazy. Okay, so this is very important, story. Let's look at how to be last, the small capacity. Those persons who diligently strive to attain solely the joy of existence by any means for their welfare alone. That means, what is the achievement of the small capacity person? What? Happiness of this life and next life. Right? So, what kind of means they must use to achieve happiness of this life and next life? They will explain later. You must memorize this sentence. In order to be lost, those persons who diligently strive to attain solely the joy of existence by any means for their welfare alone. Right? That means most of us consider, we are Buddhists. Yes, we are Buddhists. Also, we are consider ourselves, we are Mahayana Buddhists. We are Mahayana practitioner. Actually, when you look at this phrase, we are included into small capacity. Right? We always thinking about how I can be happy in this life. We always thinking, achieving joy of existence. happiness of cyclic existence. There are two kinds of certain goodness. The liberation, that is mere freedom from existence, like liberation, and the sublime step of omniscience. That means final goal, there's only two goals, which is liberation and omniscience. So liberation and complete liberation is different, okay? So become a Buddha, like Buddhahood, becoming Buddha, complete liberation is a synonymous. Just liberation is not necessary to be Buddhahood. Many of the Buddha's statements, pretend to vehicle of the Pratika Buddha and Charvaka. Pratika and Charvaka, right? That means the person, he or she, who wish to achieve liberation, only benefit for themselves. We consider what? Medium capacity. This practitioner we can divide into two categories. What are they? Pratika Buddha and Charvaka, right? Nyentu Rangsangye. Pratika and Charvaka. The Pratika and Charvaka both, they, diligently practice the path for, to achieve liberation, only benefit for themselves. But the difference is two of them. One, the Pratika Buddha, they never ever, Pratika Buddha doesn't want to listen any Mahayana teaching. They thought, there's no point to listening, spend time with the Mahayana teaching. It is not necessary for him or her, right? Not necessary. For example, the person who only going to Kalang, they don't need to buy any ticket to go to Aljuna, right? There's no point to spend, 10 or 20 cents extra to buy ticket for Aljuna, because the person is not going to go to Aljuna, only Kalang, right? Kalang. That's why, Pratika Buddha is not the Buddha, is we name Pratika Buddha. He or she thought there's no point to listening Mahayana teaching, because I cannot practice. I don't want to practice, right? The second Charvaka, he or she only practice for achieving liberation, but still, listen the Mahayana teaching, study Mahayana teaching. Not for their practice, not for mainly practice, mainly, passing the teaching to others, right? To others. That means both of them, Hinayan practitioner, same practice. The difference is, one listen the Mahayana teaching, study Mahayana teaching, pass the teaching to others. The first one, never ever want to listen, never ever want to, study. Therefore, we don't, just, follow blindly with your teacher, your guru, your master. You really need to think, what I want to do, what practice I want to practice. We really need to think, we really have to be serious. If you only think about, happiness of this lifetime, put, good effort to be happy only this life. If you think, no, I'm not only thinking this life, I must have a happiness on next life. If you don't think about, not consider about achieving Buddha, liberation, Buddhahood, you should not, study, listen all the, the teachings. Because all of teachings become useless for you. Because you wish to achieve happiness only this life and next life. Then bodhicitta, emptiness, Four Noble Truths, all the teaching become, useless, not relevant for you, right? That's why we really have to think, very precisely and very serious about your practice. Second, I don't want to be, I not only want to be happy this life and next life, I want to be arhat. I want to achieve liberation. Want to free from samsara. I don't want to become Buddha. Again, then you don't have to listen, all the Mahayana teaching, all the, the Tantrayana, Vajrayana. You should not listen. You should not study. You must focus, fully focus, the middle capacity path. For example, renunciation, practice of Four Noble Truths, taking refuge into Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, then 12 links interdependent practice, and unfold Arya paths. If you fully focus these practices, then you will achieve liberation. You can be free from samsara, right? Then, if you really think seriously, no, I not only want to achieve liberation, I want to become a Buddha, right? Then why you want to become Buddha? I will be more happy, right? I will be more happy. I will be more famous, right? No, you should not think this way. You should think, if I become a Buddha, I can give lot of benefit for all sentient beings. I can liberate all sentient beings from samsara. If you think this way, then you have to be very serious about listening the Mahayana teaching, practice Mahayana teaching, emptiness, bodhicitta, so and so. You have to be very clear about your practices. So therefore, we should not just follow the teaching, study teaching without having very clear destination. So you have to be very clear about your achievement. Right? Look at it, and that's why within the small capacity being, there's a two. One, only think this life. Other is not only this life, thinking about next life. Then next one, look at the lamp of the path to enlightenment. The person are called medium who stop sinful action. Right? So it's a mix, and then person of the medium. Yeah. All of the statements are included in the teaching for the person of actual medium capacity, or the teaching shared with the such person. Because person of medium capacity develop disenchantment with all of the sacred existence, mean the medium capacity must generate renunciation, disenchantment, renunciation. Number one, right? Practice number one, generate renunciation. Then make their goal their own liberation for sacred existence. They then enter the path, the three training, the method for attaining liberation. Right? That means if you really wish to achieve only liberation, first you generate the renunciation. So how you can generate renunciation? When you think about nature of samsara, you can see the samsara is full of suffering. Our life is full of suffering. I want to, get out from the samsara. Then slowly you are able to generate renunciation. Then three trainings. What are they? Training of ethical discipline, training of concentration, meditative concentration, then practice of wisdom. Okay? Once you generate renunciation, then you must, achieve, meditative concentration. Right? Not only that, then you must practice the wisdom. So, three training, then, you can achieve Buddhahood, liberation. That's why, look at those persons are called medium, who stop sinful action, totally stop all the negative actions, turned their back on the joy of sacred existence. Then you totally, renounce with the joy of sacred existence. and diligently strive just for their own peace. Then again, next look at, since the Guru, the Buddha said, depend on the perfection and mantra vehicle and attain the enlightenment. Here I will read about the meaning of this. Now the last one, in the great capacity. So depend on perfections and mantra vehicles. So within the great capacity, the path you can divide into two practices. What are they? Perfection and mantra. Because when they translate into English, Tibetan we call Parulu Chimba, perfection, Sangha Yitikba, mantra. So in order to achieve Buddhahood, the great capacity must practice the perfection vehicle as well as the mantra vehicle. Clear? Yeah. According to this, the methods of attaining omniscience is twofold. Mahayana of the perfections and Mahayana of the mantra. That's why I said many times, we have a Hinayana or Mahayana. Mahayana, we have two Mahayana. What are they? Sudra Mahayan, Tantra Mahayan, or Perfection Mahayan, Tantra Mahayan. That means, both of them include into Mahayan. Usually what you say, Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana. So Vajrayana, we count separate from the Mahayana, right? We should say Hinayana, Mahayana. Within the Mahayana, Sutra Mahayan, Tantra Mahayan. Or, Perfection Mahayan, Tantra Mahayan. Sometimes you call, the causal vehicle, cause, right? Causal vehicle and result vehicle. The causal vehicle, perfection vehicle, Sutra Mahayan are synonymous. Okay? The causal Mahayan, perfection Mahayan, then Sutra Mahayan are synonymous. The next one, resultant Mahayan and Tantra Mahayan, mantra are synonymous. So why we named the causal Mahayan, result Mahayan, right? So that's why in the Sutra Mahayan teaching explain very much emphasize the causes and condition of how to achieve Buddhahood. It never explain how we can to visualize the perfect kind of Buddha state, the results, right? Mantra, two are included in the teaching of the person of great capacity. Because person of great capacity entered another important, because person of great capacity under the influence of great compassion. Under the influence of great compassion. That means if you consider Mahayan practitioner, you must practice perfection Mahayan or Vajra Mahayan. In order to practice two of them, step number one, most important one, you must practice great compassion, right? Great capacity, because a person of great capacity under the influence of great compassion, make Buddhahood their goal in order to extinguish all the suffering of all living beings. That means great compassion is the foundation. The Buddhahood is the achievement. Why you want to achieve Buddhahood? Extinguish all suffering of all living beings. Great compassion is practice. Buddhahood is achievement. Extinguish all suffering of all living beings are your purpose. Then turn in the sixth perfection, the two stages, right? That means let's consider step number 1, we all consider as a small capacity being. So within the us, some of us only thinking about this life. Some of us thinking about next life. Right? That we consider small capacity. Now we consider everybody consider as a medium capacity. So what is our achievement? What is our achievement? Liberation or hardship. So what are our practice will be? The renunciation, right? The renunciation, 3 trainings, right? So now we consider everybody, Mahayan practitioner. That means, what is our achievement? Buddhahood. What is our main practice? Great compassion. So what is your purpose to become Buddha? Free, all sentient beings free from sufferings. This is our, purpose. Those persons are called, superior, who sincerely want to extinguish all the suffering of other by understanding their own suffering. Right? So important, this one. That means, wish to, free other sentient being free from suffering. First, you must recognize, you must understand your own suffering. Right? For example, some of us, let's say, some of us in prison Singapore prison for 5 days. 5 days. The rest of them never been in prison. Right? When we heard, your friend in prison, the person who never been to prison, they cannot feel the real suffering, right? How it look like in prison. The person who went there, who has an experience of prison, when they heard the news, they feel that's how the sufferings look like in the prison, right? So before you wish to free other people free from suffering, you must recognize how the suffering look like. That means first you recognize your own suffering. Then when you see somebody has suffering, then you really wish the people free from suffering. Right? There's a big difference. The people who are facing, having like a certain cancer patient, the person who are cancer patient, the person who are not. When they see someone has a cancer, both of can see, feel sorry, but some person who has a cancer, there has a different feeling. That's when look at here, understanding their own suffering. So then, furthermore, there are 3 types of person or follows. No need to read this one. So I will jump next one. Next one, page number 132. Why students are led in the stage using the training of 3 types of person, right? Let's consider everybody Mahayan practitioner. Then, so let's say everybody considered as a Mahayan practitioner. Then, but our teacher explained the small capacity path, a great capacity path. Then we ask, why you are teaching small capacity path? Why you are teaching great capacity path? We are not practicing, we are not small capacity, we are not great medium capacity. Why you are teaching us those teaching? Right? We think this way. Then the answer, look at the teacher said, this explanation has 2 parts. The purpose of leading students by means of the part of 3 types of person. Why one guide student through such a stages? That means, there's a reason why, the student, the Mahayan student, the Mahayan practitioner, means of the part of 3 types of person, why one guide, the Mahayan student through the stages. I have given an example of 3 types of person. However, the stage of the path for the person of great capacity also include the path for the other 2 types of person in their entirety. Yeah. This means the Mahayana practitioner practice what? Practice the Mahayana path, right? Mahayana practitioner must practice Mahayana path. The great, the medium, kind of capacity practitioner practice what? The medium path. The small capacity practitioner practice what? The small path, right? But the Mahayana practitioner who practice Mahayana path, within the Mahayana path include the two paths, which is small path and medium path, right? Example, the person who reach to Paya, they reach to the Aljuna as well as Khalang. His journey include 3 stations, right? The Mahayana practitioner practice the Mahayana path. Within the Mahayana path include 2 other paths. That means you should not think, I am Mahayana practitioner. I don't need to practice, the small being path. I don't need to practice medium being path, right? You should not say, I want to go to Paya, but I don't need to go to Khalang. You cannot fly, right? You cannot fly, but there's a bus, car. If there's only one road, you cannot say, I don't want to go to Khalang, I want to go to Paya, right? You cannot say. You cannot say, I don't want to practice the medium path, medium capacity path, small capacity path. I want to practice Mahayana practice. You cannot. That's because within the Mahayana path, all the practices are included. That's why, the Mahayana practitioner must lead through the 3 types of practices. However, the stage of the path for the person of great capacity also include the path for the other 2 paths of person in their entity. Thus, these 2 paths are part of the branches of the Mahayana path, right? These 2 paths, which are, what are they? Small capacity path, medium capacity path are the branches of Mahayana path. Here, very important, we must know, as I said many times, I oftenly, explain when we have a class. Many people think I'm Mahayana practitioner. I don't want to practice the Hinayana practices. It's very wrong. Look at all the Hinayana practices must include into Mahayana path. That's why, within the Hinayana practices, very few practices cannot include into Mahayana path. Most of them must include into Mahayana path. Clear? Within the Hinayana practices, almost 85% must include into Mahayana path. The Mahayana practitioner must practice 80% or say 80% of the Hinayana practices. You cannot practice 100%. Can you think which is you cannot practice? Which is Mahayana practitioner cannot practice? Which is Hinayana practitioner practice? Clear? Let's say I said Mahayana practitioner must practice the Hinayana practices. But the Mahayana practitioner cannot practice all the Hinayana practices. Which is? The renunciation only renounce mainly benefit for themselves. That kind of practice Mahayana practitioner cannot practice. Otherwise, look at taking refuge, must. Practice Four Noble Truth, must. 12 links interdependent practice, must. 8 unfold path, must. You cannot avoid. That means without foundation, you cannot build second store, right? Let's say Mahayana practice is the third store. The medium path is the second store. the small psychopath is the first stone with the foundation. Right? That's why many people say, oh, I'm Mahayana practitioner, they are Hinayana practitioner, I cannot practice. Right? Sometimes, people think this way is very mistake. Include into Mahayana. Thus, two paths are part or branches of the Mahayana path. As the master, Avagosa state in, is one of the very high, Vajrayana practitioner in India at that time. Look at. Now, can everybody read the first paragraph? Being harmless, truthful, not stealing. Rebirth. Right? That means if you wish to, reborn in the heavy realms, if you wish to reborn again human and, the higher realms, what do you have to practice? Being harmless. You should not harm anybody. Harmless. Truthful. Be honest. Next one. Chase, not stealing. Whatever you get, you must, get, which is give it by someone. You should not stealing. Should not steal. The next one. Giving away all your possessions. This is, I think, I found in a mistake translation. If you give your every possession, you cannot have a food and clothes, right? You cannot be happy in this lifetime. This translation mistake. Dini Zimba Thamje Tangwanis. It means in giving away all your, bad thoughts, wish to harming other, wish to deceive other, this kind of, bad thoughts. Give away all your bad thoughts or bad motivation. These are the deeds. This mean, what mean? D-E-E-D-S. This mean practice. Practice the give rest or happy rebirth. Second one, can you read for me?
Once you have seen the suffering of psychic existence, you cultivate the true path to abandon it, and you eliminate the true misdeeds. These are the deeds that give rise to peace.
Okay, the first paragraph explains all the practices of the small capacity. Also explain their achievement, which is happy rebirth. Second, also what is the achievement? Give rise to complete peace, which is liberation. What are the practices? Cultivate the truth path, abandon. That means the denunciation. Right? Denunciation. Next one, you eliminate the two misdeeds. What are the two misdeeds? Two misdeeds. Okay, I think it's a bit difficult to understand. For example, there's a debate between the lower tenets and higher tenets. For example, drinking alcohol. Okay, drinking alcohol is considered to be good or bad. Drinking alcohol. Bad. How about sexual misconduct? Considered to be good and bad. Why? Look at drinking alcohol. Sexual misconduct. Naturally, neither negative nor the positive. It's a natural, the process. But killing is always naturally negative. Naturally negative. Naturally misdeed. Right? Once you, have taken vows, let's say, layperson vows. When you take layperson vows, you need to practice how many precepts? 5. 4 root vows, then alcohol, right? intoxin, right? You have to avoid. After you have taken the layperson vows, then if you drink alcohol, it's against with your vows. You naturally not really bad. Okay, that means there's a two misdeed. One misdeed naturally, second become misdeed based on your vows. Right? For example, you just drink cup of alcohol. How you can consider is a very bad? How? After you taking vows, we say, oh, you are very bad, right? You are very bad because you make a commitment, right? You make a commitment, you make commitment for your Guru Buddha, sir. Since today, I have never ever taken, intoxin. That means misdeed has a two. One is naturally wrong. One is wrong, bad, because against your vows. That means two misdeeds. That's why, generally the drinking alcohol has a debate. Some masters says is naturally bad. Some masters say is a neutral. After you taking vows and you drink alcohol, is considered as bad. Okay, honestly, how many of you really think drinking alcohol is very bad? Honestly, Really? Yeah, only him. Why do you think it's very bad?
Because once you, even though you don't, because for social reasons we drink alcohol, right? But it's bad because, why I think it's bad because you will cultivate a habit. And once some people when they hit your problems, they will drink themselves drunk. But before that, they already have some drinking habit.
Okay, what about drinking coffee? Yeah,
you get attached to it.
yeah, many people get, coffee addiction. Some people got, mobile addiction. I know, I think Yangzom, right? I was very surprised. We went for dinner in Bodh with a group. So they invite me, John, for dinner. I went there. I am the only person who was just sitting on the table. Everybody look like we are not really having group dinner. I thought there's no point to group, come together. I collect all the mobile. Okay. Okay, then start to talk together. Then the food come. Everybody looking at me. They want to take a photo. They got addiction. Looking. And he said, Geshe, please, can I have a phone? Please. You won't give the phone. I don't think she can eat the dinner. Look at, addiction. Somebody got addiction, drinking coffee. Also, I got a little bit, but I stopped drinking a lot of coffee. So that's why, let's say you drink every day. If you drink half cup of, glass of alcohol, it doesn't harm anybody. Right? That's why there's a, debate between the lower school and higher school. That means this related to two misdeeds. You eliminate two misdeeds. What are they? The naturally misdeeds. The misdeeds based on your commitment, your vows. Okay? Chebe khana matowa dang, ranjingi khana matowa. These are the deep, this. The next one, can you read for me? A person of... Right? I think, I'm not just saying you read, you must try to understand the meaning. Right? Look at the first sentence, first line. The person of great capacity should practice all this. All this refer to the practice of small capacity practice, the practice of a great capacity practice, all practice, right? The person of great capacity should practice all this. They are the branches of the path of the supreme determination to be free, right? Without practice, small capacity path, medium capacity path, you cannot be, You cannot, be free from all the sufferings. Next one, look at the knowledge that all phenomena are emptiness. Increase their stream of compassion for all living beings. Now, look at the person who wants to practice, great capacity path, the Mahayana path, Bodhisattva path. You must practice all the practices of the small capacity, medium capacity, plus you must practice emptiness. Then you must practice great compassion, right? Compassion for all beings. It's not just great compassion, not only great compassion your person, your friends, relatives, must practice compassion for all beings. Then limitless deeds of the skill in mean are the activity of the supreme determination to be free. So it's very quite easy, right? So when when we study Dharma, it looks so difficult, so complex. Very simple. Practice, let's say, be honest. Number one, harmless, truthful, not stealing, and eliminate, give away all the bad thoughts. Simple. Most of you, most of us, have been doing this thing. The second one, suffering of second existence, you cultivate the truth path, which is renunciation, and two misdeeds. Eliminate the two misdeeds. Then you can achieve liberation. Wish to practice Bodhisattva paths. Practice all of them plus emptiness, great compassion. Okay. Now related to the great compassion, most, all the Mahayana practitioners, we have been talking about great compassion. Compassion is so important. Compassion is so important. This is very important. We must omit, we must agree. But sometimes we don't have enough compassion within your families, within your relatives, within your co-workers, within your neighbors. If you totally ignore, your relatives, your friends, co-workers, neighbors, still you talking great compassion, you cannot. First, you must have a great compassion yourself. Then you extend the great compassion your family. You always be, kind person, loving person within your family. Then you can extend your neighbors and co-workers and friends. Then slowly you can extend, everybody. But we are opposite, right? We talk all sentient beings. When you come closer to your friends, enemy. With the family, enemy. Neighbors, enemy. How you can practice great compassion? That's why you can see, sometimes we talk about so many great things, but we act very little thing. It's okay, chanting. Okay, next one. Therefore, in this instant, teaching lead you neither to the part of the person. No, we don't need to read this one. The next one, how we can achieve. Therefore, once you have developed the desire to take full advantage of this human life of leisure and opportunity explained before, you must know how to take full advantage of it. Now, you must remember the paths. Now, how we can really fully advantage, this leisure and opportunity. Then, Bhavavika, heart of the middle way, is also very important, famous, middle way schoolmaster. Can you read the first paragraph? These are shell, like banana tree and bubble, them substance others, right? That means you must consider, you must recognize the leisure and human opportunity, but the body are substantial, right? That means there's no substance. There's nothing really essence in the human life. It's like a banana tree and the bubbles. Why, banana tree put example of the insubstantial? Why? Huh? Hollow. Anybody did really research about banana tree? Have anybody done research the banana tree? Huh? How it look like? Huh? Actually, banana tree has, I think, very true unique quality or unique nature. It doesn't have an essence. When you peel, it's just bunch of skin. Like you peel one skin, find out there's nothing. This is one kind of unique of the banana tree. Other trees, when you peel the skin, you can see something inside. Banana tree doesn't have full of skin. Then when they give rice fruits one time, then you need to cut the tree. The banana tree cannot give second fruits. Second fruit. When you give fruits, it's finished. That's why the virtues, not the transcendent, the ordinary positive karma is look like banana tree. Give one result, the karma finish. Okay, that means our human life is look like body is look like banana tree. There's no essence, insubstantial, and easy to decay, easy to lose like bubbles. Then you must making them condition for helping others. But there's no essence, is very impermanent. But if you use the proper way, you can give lot of benefit to others through this body, right? Okay, so time is over. I thought I should finish. Okay, as a homework, please everybody read page number 133 all the way through the 141. Ni, sum, ji, nga. 5 pages. Okay, 5 pages. Also, you must include, the 2 pages I explain as a homework. So when you do homework, you do not just read through and try to understand the meaning. If you confuse, keep a note. The next, we will explain, short explanation about the 5 pages. Then we start the mindfulness of the death. So thank you so much for attending the Lamrim class. And also I know sometimes bit difficult to understand. Sometimes the teaching, the topic is quite dry, and you think, it's not important to attend Lamrim class, because you have to attend the Lamrim class, continuously. But end of the year, after 1 year, you can get quite good, understanding of how to practice Dharma. You cannot get today, you will get tomorrow. You won't get tomorrow, you will get next time. That's why please continuously read and study and practice. Yeah, so thank you. So we do the dedication prayers.